This is what the Toyota Tacoma redesign needs to be. Well, good morning, everybody. How are you today? Pretty good here, and welcome back to the channel. And are you getting sick of these things yet? I am. Drive me nuts. Anyway, I want to talk about what the Toyota Tacoma redesign needs to be. You know, recently Toyota redesigned, and I think they're done, but they redesigned the Tundra, and that means the Toyota Tacoma is next. It's honestly about probably 2 to 3 years away, something like that. So we're probably talking about maybe a 2023, maybe a 24 redesigned 4th gen, I guess, Toyota Tacoma. But this is what I think it needs to be to tempt me. I mean, I'm not looking to trade this truck off anyway. This is a 2020, but you never know. 3-4 years from now, hard to say. But this is what the Toyota Tacoma redesign needs to be for me to even consider it. First of all, they need to have a chromeless option. You know, I think from all the comments that I get, and don't get me wrong, there are people out there that like chrome, right? But there are many more that do not. So if Toyota is listening and they really want to give the people what they want, they need to provide at least a chromeless option. It doesn't have to be a blackout edition or anything like that, but it does need to be chromeless. Painted parts are even better, right? Let's just get rid of the chrome. Next, fully retractable rear window. I hear this often, and probably because the Tacoma's bigger brother, the Tundra, has a fully retractable window, at least an option for it in upper trim levels. Why don't we have that in the Tacoma? You can't get it in any trim level. It is a cool feature and something that I think would set it apart from everybody else out there, right? Nobody else out there, none of the mid-size trucks have a fully retractable rear window. And Toyota certainly has the technology to do it, right? I mean, they do it in the Tundra. Let's just make it a little bit smaller. I think it would be awesome. Push button start and keyless entry for the manual edition or the manual trim level Tacoma. Assuming it's still around in the next redesign. You know, right now I have to push a button to get in. I have to use a key to start the truck. It's because I have a manual transmission. And it's not that it's because of manual or because it is a manual transmission. There are manuals out there that have these features, right? I mean, I had a manual Honda. It was a Honda Civic Sport. It had push button start. I believe in the Type R that I had, it also had touch entry, you know, or keyless entry, I guess. They certainly could do this in the Tacoma, and I think it's something they need to put in. It's time. Number 4, speaking of the manual transmission, and again, fingers crossed that it's still around. I have my doubts, but they need a smoother, less clunky manual, right? I mean, if they're going to stay in the manual game, then we need to update it a little bit. I mean, there are plenty of other better manual transmissions out there. And I gotta say, you know, when I talk about the manual transmission on the Tacoma, you know, I get a few of the diehards that say, well, it's a truck, it's supposed to be rough. You know, that old way of thinking, I guess. But let's be honest, you know, the mid-size truck market or the mid-size Tacoma, excuse me, there's gnats out here and they're driving me insane. But speaking of the mid-size trucks and a manual transmission, you know, they're hugely popular. Trucks overall are hugely popular, right? And a lot of people, and I would probably say most people, don't buy them and use them as trucks, right? They use them as family haulers with the occasional trip to Lowe's or somewhere or whatever. But usually, or mainly, they just drive them around, right? So why not have a manual transmission that is more fun to drive, smoother? Since people aren't using it as a truck, you know, and it's not really being utilized like the old clunky trucks of, I don't know, the 1950s. Let's have one that's funner to drive, right? That's more fun to drive. Next up, and this one, a driver's side grab handle. I mean, come on. It's probably one of the biggest things that I hear from people that the Tacoma is missing, that people wish that it had. I mean, it had one at one time. The Tundra had one at one time. And then Toyota apparently had some issues with, I don't know, accidents or people getting hurt or something happened. I don't know. So they decided to just chuck the whole thing. You know, not do any kind of a redesign to make it better, but just throw the whole thing out the window. I don't know why. It needs it. You know, especially if you mod the truck and you lift it, it's just more convenient. And I would think even less of an accident risk if you had something there you could grab onto, right? I mean, come on. Let's put the grab handle back in the Tacoma. Let's make the Tacoma grabby again, huh? Next up, and my last point here, and this one might be kind of controversial, I don't know, because there's a lot of talk out there about the different powertrains and things that manufacturers are considering or maybe doing, from hybrids to all electric to diesel. I think if they must do it, and you know they're going to do something, they have to do something, but if they must do it, I think the Toyota Tacoma needs a twin turbo 4, right? If they're going to throw a 4-cylinder in it, which they're probably going to do something like that, let's have a twin turbo 4. Now, the reason I say that is because I've had a couple of Audis, right? And both of those were twin turbo 4-cylinders. You would have never known it. You would have thought they were powerful 6-cylinders, at least, maybe even a weak 8. I don't know. But they were quick, they were responsive, they were powerful, and there was never any lag, right? Power delivery was smooth, it always felt good, and I was never wanting for more. You know, I was a little hesitant when I first got into those cars, and like I said, we had two. They were Audi A4s, I believe. I had one and my wife had one. And when I first got into them, I was a little bit leery because I knew it had a 4-cylinder, you know, when I was reading the sticker, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a dog, you know. I was shocked. When I got in that car and took off, it was quick. And then I expected to have some kind of a lag. I expected it to run out of power, right? It never happened. And I was happy with both of those cars for the duration that we had them, you know. So I'm sure that Toyota could do the same thing, put a twin turbo 4-cylinder in the truck if they have to. And I'm not advocating this, but you know it's going to go this way. But if they have to do it, then let's go with a twin turbo 4, similar to what the Audi has. It would be awesome. So anyway, those are just a few things that I think the Toyota Tacoma redesign needs to be. Otherwise, I think the truck is fantastic. You know, the recent upgrades that they put into it, the all-electric seat, at least on the driver's side. Some people I know want it on the passenger side. But the all-electric seat is awesome. That's kind of got rid of the seating position for me. Now you can go all over the place and get it however you want. The upgraded stereo system, I think, is just fine with CarPlay and Android Auto and all that good stuff. And then the look of the Tacoma itself. I really don't think it needs to change drastically. I do think it's going to go a little bit more towards the Helix or Hilux look, I think. And that, I think, is just a little bit smaller even maybe. And I wouldn't have a problem with a little bit smaller. Heck, I wish they'd go back and put out some first gens. That would be really cool. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you agree, if I'm really missing anything, and if that would be enough for you to maybe jump on a next gen, a 4th gen Toyota Tacoma. Also, real quick, if you haven't before and you're interested, check out my other channel. It is RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. You can kind of see it sitting right up there. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.